Kentucky Congressman James Comer is here to fill us in on the very latest from today's closed door testimony. Chairman, good to have you. Day of. We're all waiting. You got Jim Biden in the seat. What did he tell you? And just tell us about his demeanor.
Well, of all the people that I've watched be interviewed, I can say with confidence he was the least believable of them all. To say that he's 75 years old and his brother's his best friend, and he's never once in his entire life discussed business with his brother, that's a little hard to believe. Another thing that Jim Biden said that was hard to believe, he said he had no idea CEFC had anything to do with China. I mean, no one would believe that.
Isn't the first C in the CEFC China?
Yeah, China. And, he said it was a privately owned company, but he didn't know who the owners were. And, we asked what exactly did both Jim and Hunter do to earn the millions of dollars that they earned from CEFC. And he said that they were always out scouting around trying to find them investments. And then the next obvious question, well, did you find them any investments? No.
Yeah.
So, there was no concern that, he took millions of dollars from the Chinese Communist Party, supposedly to help them find investments, but then they never found any investments. There was no concern that they would try to get their money back or anything else. Then we asked him about the loans he had from all these shady individuals, shady Ukrainian Americans, shady lawyers that have been disbarred and convicted of bribery, shady loans from, all these people that are in constant trouble that he's never paid back. And he said, well, it's my intention to pay him back. I mean, he's 75 years old. He's had some of these loans for 9 years. I mean, it was preposterous. Some of the things that Jim Biden testified to in that transcribed interview.
Chairman, what about those checks that Jim wrote to Joe Biden? Did you ask him about that? What was his explanation for those? Yeah.
He said his brother loaned him money. And, we were like, well, can we see where Joe Biden actually provided a check or some form of payment to you? And he said, no, it was through this lawyer trust account.
So wait, hold on. So the guy, James Biden, who is taking $600,000 from America, taking millions from Chinese companies and Ukrainian companies, needs to borrow money from the guy who's never made more than $174,000 a year as a senator. He needed to borrow the senator's money and
$250,000.
How does that add up? And if it doesn't add up, how do you make that a smoking gun?
Well, obviously, there is no loan. There's a trust account in a law firm that created a lot of the shell companies that Hunter has. They did all the LLCs that Jim Biden had, and they did the president's LLC, Shamrock. So, this law firm has lots of different LLCs and corporate accounts. Did the money that came from the law firm, did it come from a corporate account? Did it come from Joe Biden? I mean, that shouldn't be hard to prove. But at the end of the day, one thing that is indisputable is the money that Jim paid Joe came from an influence peddling scheme. It came from AmeriCorps Health, which was a company he defrauded. Yep. That's in the bankruptcy documentation. That was in the Politico article. There's no question Jim Biden defrauded AmeriCorps Health, which defrauded a lot of people in Kentucky, in a little town called Pineville, Kentucky. And, at the end of the day, it's just amazing to see the lack of any type of shame by the president's brother or any type of concern from the Democrats asking the question.
Take a listen to your fellow congressman from Democrat from New York, Dan Goldman, who says you're a puppet of Putin. Listen.
Not only is there no evidence of any wrongdoing by President Biden, but it now appears as if the House Republican majority is being used by Russia to interfere in the 2024 election on behalf of Donald Trump. If they continue with this investigation, they are simply doing the work of Vladimir Putin to help Donald Trump win an election in November. That's where we are. It tells you the real danger that our Congress is in right now, having been held captive by Donald Trump and now operating at the behest of Russian intelligence and Vladimir Putin.
Said that with a straight face, a frozen face, but a straight face nonetheless.
You know, they're going to play the Russia card again. Every time they get backed into a corner, they start playing the Russia card, and that's what Dan Goldman's done. That's what Jamie Raskin's done. You know, they talk about the Steele dossier and all that. At the end of the day, with respect to the FBI informant that Christopher Wray told Jamie Raskin, me, Charles Grassley, Jim Jordan, was one of their most trusted, highest paid informants with the Bureau for over a decade. You know, at the end of the day, he wasn't an important part of this investigation because I didn't even know who he was. All I knew was there was a 1023 that alleged bribery. My investigation's about all the money the Bidens have taken from China, from Romania, from Kazakhstan,
for
Russia,
nothing in return. For nothing
This
in
guy
return.
had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Crazy.
We got a tip. We investigated. We couldn't figure out who it was.
Chairman James Comer, really good having you. I think we're going to get you back next week after you do the same thing to Hunter Biden. This should be very interesting stuff. Thank you. Appreciate your time, Chairman.